Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Pokemon RCL Breakdowns. This is week 3 of the Season 10 A Division, and I am joined by Mr. Lance.
Hey, Viper. Good to be back on the channel. Looking forward to going over some old matches and seeing how people have improved using their team.
Old matches, you calling out the fact that I am very far behind in my videos?
Technical difficulties. Once you hire some staff for your channel, I'm sure it'll never happen again.
I sure hope so. Alright, so starting us off, we have Mr. Mez, also known as Duskmoon Dragapult, going up against Ooga Booga, also known as Beyond or Zigzagoon Goon Group. Alright, so Terra's Manaphy and Gliscor going up against Charizard. Wait, he didn't bring King Gambit? What the fuck?
Yeah, I noticed that too. It looks like he really committed to rain this week. And
yeah, I'll say.
I'm guessing he was afraid of Gliscor. Gliscor can play a lot of mind games with King Gambit with Protect Substitute Skull.
Yeah, that's true.
Sucker Punch, but
that's very fair.
Yeah.
I still think it's an easy bring though, especially if you like make it, I don't know, Terra Water or something to really fuck with it. Actually, Terra Water looks pretty solid overall.
Counterplay.
Alright, let's get this going. Hang on, what? He made everything Terra Water.
Yeah, having a little fun with his team building for sure.
Yup. So let's see. He made it Dark type Gliscor. That's an interesting option. I guess he really wanted to eat those Kowtow Cleaves and stuff. And Grass type Manaphy. I've noticed he really likes Grass type Manaphy.
Yeah, water types, even in VGC, generally like to run grass as well.
Yeah. That was a bad swap. Oh, that's this game. Yeah, I do not like this at all. Bro, like, don't get me wrong, this is a fine thing to do. It's good and it's cool. But not at this point of the game. You're not gonna, like, and, like, if you had waited to do that, like, I don't know, maybe 5-10 turns, get some, like, U-turn chip in or flip turn, or, I don't know, Raiku's Voltage, just get some chip in, like, hell, even one layer of rocks or spikes, right? And if you did that then, you probably won the game. But just trying to do that shit on turn 2, 3, and 4 is just not great.
Yeah, I remember reading Spoiler Chat too, and he said the Charizard EV spread was for bulky Milotic, and apparently max defense Manaphy is tankier than max defense Milotic.
Really? That's an interesting thing to know.
Well, yeah, just Manaphy's base HP and defense are both 100, and I think Milotic's base defense is 80.
Yeah. But Marvel scale, right?
Yeah, well, I guess you have to run Flame Orb. Yeah, I guess with the +1 defense, I think the Acrobatics calc was just no Marvel scale Milotic, and it KO'd.
I think that was the case. Because I was going to say, like, with Marvel scale, surely it's bulkier than Manaphy, right?
Yeah, definitely on the physical side.
Yeah.
I do agree. Waiting to bring out Charizard could have been an advantage. At the same time, Ooga Booga does have a spin blocker. If Ooga Booga got up Stealth Rock, the Charizard was not Boots, it was Salic Berry. So he kind of needed to do it before Stealth Rocks got up.
That is true.
So it was a very risky Charizard that he brought.
On the flip side,
he was going to try to break her.
I feel like his two main rockers, Terrakion and Gliscor, do not want rocks. Especially Gliscor. Gliscor is always trapped for move slots. Terrakion has a little bit more freedom, but if it's an offensive Terrakion, it's unlikely. I feel like he would have brought Stealth Rock, especially when he's going into a team like Mez's, which has, you know, a pseudo Rain mode plus King Gambit. Its Steel move will just destroy you. I mean, you know what I mean? I feel like it would definitely be a offensive one.
On that note, I do have to say I think beyond, if I were him and I thought I was going into a rain team, bringing Terrakion and Gliscor would have been a liability unless he ran Terra Water Gliscor, which he didn't. So I think they both made a few mistakes at the team planning position, but as far as EVing goes, Ooga Booga came in clutch with his max defense Manaphy.
Indeed. Alright, let's keep going a little bit, shall we? Sends in Kane. I have no idea why that's the name. U-turns out. Just Rocky Helmet. Volca. I like the name Volca. I don't know why. He predicts the Draco correctly. That did a lot more than I thought it would. Is this a Specs Goldango?
That's a good guess. I know Urshifu's base special defense is 60, so can't take special hits amazing, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Fair play. There's the Pterodactyl sub. My god, Subtoxic protects Poison Heal. This is so AIDS, dude. I hate this shit.
Yeah, Gliscor can fix out teams that aren't prepared.
Especially with Terra, right?
Yeah, now. Yeah, obviously ran Terra Dark for King Gambit, but obviously that's not if King Gambit's running a certain set, so like maybe max defense substitute, it could have walled Gliscor right back. Do you think you're bringing a counter to one Pokemon and then you actually get walled because you don't have good attacking options into it? So
yep.
I think Dark was still a liability, but worked out this game.
Yeah. It's also odd to make yourself still weak to Urshifu, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does love to run physically defensive Amoonguss, so guess he didn't feel too threatened by that.
That Power Whip does kind of solid damage, I can't lie.
Yeah, that's... Oh, he's Eject Button? He's not even banned? That's so interesting.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that means that this is a Spadef Gliscor?
Or max speed, yeah, something like that.
He's also hit a remarkable amount of these Power Whips.
Yeah, I generally don't ever run moves with less than 90 accuracy whenever I can help it. And even if I do run it, I try not to go for it unless I'm going to lose the game anyway.
Yeah, that's so fair. Yeah, at this point the game is kind of over. Well, actually, if this is a sub Calm Mind, he might be able to fuck shit up.
I think they did really limit Raikou. Well, once they got rid of Hidden Power, Raikou was one of the Pokemon that suffered most from that because got all kinds of great coverage with that.
Yeah.
But I think you'd still get Extra Sensory for a Moongus.
I think it lost
Weavile,
at some
Triple
point.
Axle.
Yeah, this was pretty unfortunate for Mez. Yeah, I really do think he just kind of fucked up with his Charizard planning. Because I definitely think that could
Yeah,
have
it
won
was
him
a
the
high.
game.
I do think it was a high risk, high reward move that he did. A lot of times when you look at a matchup and you realize your opponent has the team advantage at team preview, a lot of times you're incentivized to run riskier sets to try to catch your opponent off guard, try to create an early game imbalance. I feel like Mez probably felt like he had a bad team matchup, so he took a little bit of a risk this game
Yeah, I can
and
definitely see
almost
that.
paid off. Super
Yeah.
close.
Something else I wanted to mention as well is this double protect on Gliscor here. Um, this double protect that he managed to get with the power whips, meaning that he died to poison without breaking the sub. That was, it was even at that point, Mez knew the game was over, and so did it. Beyond, and he even apologized for the hacks. It's just kind of pretty sad to see, because if we go back to 25, what was it? No, that's 20. Oops, too far back. Yeah, if he didn't get that double protect right there, he would have been able to break the sub, then go into... Oh, sorry, this one here. My bad. He would have been able to then break this sub, go into either Raikou or Politoed, and outspeed and kill it. I do think
Well,
in the end...
actually,
Mm,
I was gonna say Brammelghast gets Infiltrator, so that goes through Substitute. So he actually would have been able to KO Gliscor and trade 1-for-1. And it's 50-50.
it's not
Who's your
Infiltrator,
opponent
though.
setting in?
It's
How do
Wind
I
Rider.
think if you go back, I think you can see him hit Gliscor through the sub before. Yeah, if you go back a couple more
Oh,
turns.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
then, sorry, no, okay, yeah. Ignore what I said before. He would have simply killed the Gliscor and then been able to, you know, hit something else or set up one wave spikes or whatever he wanted to do. He would have simply killed Gliscor that turn, and it would have gone down to a 3v3 then. In saying that, I still don't think Mez would have won. I think the combination of no issue Weavile and Terrakion would have been able to destroy Raikou, Bramblegast, and Politoed. And that's not even including Amoonguss. Yeah, I while that double protect was unfortunate, I think Mez had simply lost too many of his important pieces for at this point where, you know, a banded Weavile probably would have just won the game on the spot anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I unfortunately, I mean, I don't know his sets, but I think the game was likely to be over anyway, regardless of whether he got that hacks or not.
Yeah, I still think Mez could have made up at least 2 differential if the double protect didn't go through, but
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see him getting 2 more out of it.
Mez
Definitely.
is definitely clutch later this season though, so
Yeah.
All
Alright.
yeah, great play by both of these guys.
Absolutely. Alright. Next game, we actually have yours, funnily enough. YouTube Lance, our boy right here, as Seattle SuperSonics, going up against Chris, also known as Helsinki Hydreigons. I had to think of his name there again.
Yeah, so one thing I will say about this game is Porygon 2, back when he was on my team, this was his best matchup. Porygon 2 completely shuts down Sand. And so pretty much all I needed to do at team preview was if I can bait Snorlax or knock it out, Porygon 2 can win. I had a few other game plans, but during my play testing, then I actually found a set that could do just that, and we are going to find out what that set is.
I can't wait. As for Terras, Chris didn't actually bring his Terra captains, I don't think. And you brought... Is Primarina one of them? I can't remember.
No, I didn't bring my Terra captains either.
Fair
So
enough.
Terraless
Yeah, Terraless
game on the way.
Who is your other captain? It's Chi-Yu and who?
Originally it was Serena.
Right,
I
yeah.
eventually dropped Serena, moved it to Galvantula.
Yeah,
But
and then you moved it to Gyarados
yeah,
as well, right?
yeah.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
tried to get I tried to bring Serena multiple games. It just couldn't lift hits from my opponents. That's one of the reasons I eventually dropped it.
That's fair. Alright, so immediately swapping out Palafin to get Hero Mode. This fucking Outrage just fucking hurts, bro. Is that banded?
Yeah.
I had a feeling, because that
Also, I
just
knew.
dropped Uxie, dude. Fucking 50% to Hippo. And Dysonate.
Yeah, that is what Dragonite is best at for sure.
I was gonna
Also, when
say,
I was watching past games from Chris, he loved to lead Palafin, so I knew if he brought it, he'd likely lead it
yeah.
and switch out. And yeah, he had one switch in the Outrage, and he didn't bring that switch in, so
Yeah.
it
No.
two-shot everything else on his team.
I'll say I could only imagine if he missed this Stone Edge, you would have an easy chance to swap out and then bring Dragonite in and just kill something else as well later down the road. But I mean,
Yeah,
killing
and
Uxie and doing 50% to Hippo was very, very solid for, 3 turns, right?
yeah, I was hoping he'd go Hippo initially because my Goodra set was EV'd specifically for Uxie to get the sub on and start going to town, but I was a little disappointed, but I still knew that Goodra would have chances likely in this
Yeah, against
game.
Iron Moth.
Mm-hmm.
Sparkling Aria does sweet baby fuck all to the Snorlax. This is, yeah, I'll say it's kind of okay. Like, you'll live at least 1 EQ, and I don't think he'll live a CC, no.
Yeah.
Jesus
So,
Christ.
wanted Iron Hands to do a little more this match, but you can't switch out when next. Oh, yeah, we can move on. That's totally fine.
Alright, all good. Sorry, yeah. Kind of cut you off a little bit there. Yes, where were we? Right, so Iron Hands just murdered the fucking Excadrill's life. Brought in Palafin. Is Palafin even the right thing to bring in here? I feel like going to Moth... I mean, I guess it depends on the Moth set, right?
Yeah, I think he had multiple options he could have gone into. Could have even gone Hippowdon if he thought he outsped.
That's it. Feels like a bit
gone
more of a
up
gamble.
Rock. Yeah,
I feel like if this was a
Hippowdon
setup
was living
Moth,
any.
I feel like if it was a setup Moth, this would be the perfect chance to get it in and set up and I don't know about win, but fuck shit up for sure, right?
Yeah. I was a little surprised he didn't go Hippowdon, live a hit, go for Slack Off, but yeah, I was okay with Palafin coming in here, and somehow I lived the hit.
I was gonna say that 1% really making Palafin's day bad, right? Just lost what's that? 65% for basically nothing. Balloon Lycanroc.
So unfortunately,
oh, no, first turn para.
Lycanroc was meant to come in on Hippowdon and get up Rock because I thought he would be one attack Hippowdon, but didn't quite go my way.
Yeah, apparently. Tri-attack hitting very hard. Not quite hard enough, though. Oh, and Yawn. Fair enough.
couldn't let Porygon go to sleep there, and he valued damage on Primarina, so
Yep.
great trade for me.
Definitely worked out well, I'd say. Snorlax has gotten really chipped now. And there goes Chesto. What perfect timing, hey. Oh, and Focus Punch.
There are a lot of
Focus Punch is kind of fire. I can't lie. I don't think I've ever seen a sub Focus Punch Goodra. Like, I've seen it before, but not on a fucking Goodra. That's crazy.
Yeah, Goodra gets a lot of great coverage. Knockoff is one of the reasons I wanted to try it on this team. Fortunately, I have not loved Goodra on this team, so
yeah.
Came through this battle, but
my God, P2 was
struggled
bulky.
in
Trick
a lot
Room
of other
2.
stuff.
Yeah.
So no, I have the game won, but I'm trying to get differential at this point. So just got up Trick Room. That way, Porygon 2 could sweep.
Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah. I really think if this was a agility booster special attack Iron Moth, if it came in when the Iron Hands was super low, it could have really fucked you up.
Yeah, the tricky thing with Iron Hands is its attack stat is high, so even not running any attack investment, it can still two-shot a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you don't know if it's rest, sleep talk, or if it's for attack. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of Incin in like VGC, where it's usually a support Pokemon, but it has enough base attack that it can still hit someone very hard with knockoff or flare blitz, right?
Yeah, for sure. Very, very. Its move pool is shallow, but like the roles and support it can provide for a team are just really hard to prep for.
Indeed. All right, ready to move on?
Yeah, great game to Chris.
Easy done. Next up we have Bakris, also known as Paris Leafeons, going up against All-Star Caliber, also known as Nick or I Got Your Nosepass. Harkonine is scary, I must admit.
Yeah, the way that Nick's used it this season, I think it's fair to say he's used that Pokemon better than anyone has used any of their Pokemon. It's come to every game. It's been offensive when he needs offense, been defensive when he needs defense. It's super glue for Nick's team.
Yeah, absolutely. He's brought it more than he's brought Great Tusk, which is wild.
Yeah, agree with you there.
I always forget Bakris does this. So his Terras are Water Chestnut and Grass Iron Boulder. And Nick has Terra Electric Arcanine and Terra Electric Iron Crown. Interesting. Why is he Terra Electric?
I do think having an extra assurance / switching to Zapdos is probably nice because he struggles a little bit switching in besides that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Goodra, obviously you can run a special wall, but maybe he's running a different Goodra set, and he doesn't want Goodra taking any chip damage, so
I do think
could be some ideas.
The special wall set would be the easiest thing to run when they have like Iron Bundle and Zapdos, though. Like it's hard to have a bundle switch in, and that's one of the few things that is a bundle switch in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, great point. Can see that.
Oh well, let's see how this goes, shall we? Lead Arcanine and bundle. Terra Electric's turn 1. I guess he's gonna go for Terra Blast. No, Rock Slides. Fair enough. Backs out into Tort to eat the EQ. Fuck the Aussies. Shut up, Duart, you bitch. Fucking Ashton. Man, who would have ever thought Rock Blast, Raw, Torterra? Ice Spinner even fucking lived that. Earthquake doesn't do much with the Reflector. Out to Scream Cock.
Nice pivot in the Scream Tail and then predict Iron Head or something. So great final switch to
Boosted defense feels really odd this game to me. I mean, I guess it was there for Boulder or Treads maybe.
I will say I have collaborated a bit with All-Star Caliber and building a few teams this season.
Yeah, he's mentioned that.
And yeah, his ideas, his initial ideas are normally really spot on. Like, he has really solid ideas at the team building stage. But
good.
I know something else he does is he puts great ideas into mocks, and then he learns from the mocks, and then he adjusts. So
yeah.
I think he has probably spent more time mocking in our league than anyone else, if I had to guess. And so that's one of the reasons he's been so successful this season.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely.
Oh. Yep. Not 100% sure what the sets are for, but they're definitely there for a good reason. Can tell you that much.
That's fair. Oh my god. Okay, so something I'm also going to mention here because it's showing up and I forgot about it. So during this time, I was having my 21st, and Bacchus had come down, as well as a couple of the others, which we'll get to when their games are being played, I guess. And so these were being played on my computer, being hooked up to my TV, and we're having a watch party for these games live, right? So Rick here, fucking Rick. This is Leon or Ancient Archon's brother, who also came down. And so they turned this chat into absolute fucking chaos, and it was funny as. Misses the hurricane, love to see it. Boy silence, just like some particular ethnic group with a yellow star and a German train. Oh fuck. I'm gonna get demonetized. Caleb has asymmetrical butt cheeks, what the fuck? The SD is gonna make this fucking hurt though. Actually, never mind. That did sweet fuck all, and it gets roared out.
Yeah, Torterra had an amazing matchup in this team.
Jesus, this Torterra is being an absolute menace.
Hmm.
And then it just
one of the things I will say about Bacchus, the way he builds, from playing him multiple seasons, is the stuff you know is a threat, the stuff you know is the best set, he always brings. And so that does make team building and planning for him a little bit easier, because he does have great recognition and he does find the best sets. But if you know the best set and you know it's coming, then as long as you plan for it, normally, yeah, you can sometimes get the upper hand on him.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fair. I mean, I'm pretty sure a couple seasons ago, I don't know if he still does it, but I know back in the day he used to just grab sets from like Smogon, and then he would just like make the changes he felt he wanted. Like he would just change, like, you know, he's going into a team with, you know, 2 Ice Weak Pokemon, he would add Ice Move or etc., right? I don't know if he still does that or if he's still building from scratch. I have mocked with him a few times, but I don't really help him prep usually, so I don't know how he goes about that these days.
Yeah, whatever works. He's gone to a finals before, so
he's gone to multiple finals actually.
Everyone has to find what works. Oh yeah? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's I think gone to like 3, maybe 2. Gets rocks up. Flare Blitz. It's not Reckless either. Wait, does that mean this is Flash Fire? Because there wasn't an Intimidate earlier. Sorry, not Reckless, Rockhead. This is a Flash Fire Arcanine. Does Bakras even have a Fire type? He has Talonflame. There's no way he brought Flash Fire for Talonflame though, right? Not as a Hisuian Arcanine of all things.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, was the damage from Rocky Helmet or was it from Recoil? I think
It was both.
or was it both?
It was both, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Flash Fire was for. Yeah, I'm with you there.
I
A
wonder if
little.
this was a mistake on his part. Like, I mean, okay, even if it was intentional to have Flash Fire, it was a bad decision, I think. There's no way your Arcanine, of all things, is scared enough of... Well, I mean, maybe not scared enough, but your team in general isn't afraid of it, so why would he bring it? And I guess you could say, well, if he was going to bring it, I would swap into it, get Flash Fire, boost damage, and then fuck everything. Sure. But I don't think your team is scared enough of it for him to have wanted to bring it in the first place. Like, I mean... Between Great Tusk, Goodra, and Screamtail alone, not to mention, again, Arcanine, they're all, like, complete walls to it. And then he also has Toxapex in the back, which also completely walls it. I feel like there was no way he was ever bringing Talonflame to this game and making Flash Fire useless to ever have, right?
Yeah. Well, Nick, we know you watch these videos. Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the reason was, and we will.
Yeah, I
we will
usually reply
justify
to
it.
I usually reply to the comments and when they give their reasons, but mostly with Sean. Sean leaves the most comments. But yeah, I don't understand that
loves
Arcanine.
to talk Pokemon.
I don't get this Arcanine. Why would you SD in front of bro? You're dead now. Why would you do that? Just EQ.
A little over prediction, but
I don't like that play from Bakras here, but he forfeits at that point. He just doesn't have the offensive capabilities to get through a Goodra at this point. This was a very unfortunate game. Oh, not that. This was a very unfortunate game for Bakras, in my opinion.
Playing in front of an audience is already tough. So.
Yeah, there was like 10 people in my room watching him play. It probably didn't help, but
it's also tough when you're perceived to be the favorite too, because like that adds added pressure. So
yeah, that's
yeah,
very fair.
I can understand.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate. I would love to see some more offensive Grimmsnarl sets though, because it's got like a usable like 105 or something like that attack stat. I would love to see it used more. Screens are good, of course,
especially with Prankster, Rest Sleep Talk offensive is really good too, because you're always going first with Sleep Talk Spear Break if you roll that.
Yeah. But I think this is something. I think the main issue that went for Bakras is basically what you were saying earlier. Is he has really good sets, but they're all really standard and predictable. And I think Nick just planned around the correct sets. I mean, who would have ever thought Torterra of all things would have been so good this game? But it really was. The Raws alone probably did like 80% to the like across the whole team. Not to mention EQ and Rock Blast. Getting 5 hits was certainly nice. The way it basically stopped Treads and Boulder as well. It like this Torterra set was really well done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you there. One other thought I had about this game is if the format was different, so no open terras, I think the game would have been a lot closer to you because Packer's team on paper actually has a really good matchup in the Knicks team. I think the Arcanine just pulled more in its weight, and I think Torterra was the other staple and
Yeah.
helped save the game. But
I'm still really interested in seeing
here we
why
are.
feels Flash Fire. Oh well. Moving on to our fourth game of the day. Oh, this one's mine. Alright, bet. Yeah, so it's me going up against I Miss Hurricanes, also known as Josh, or Hope's Peak Deoxys. There we go. Alright, so I have my favorite little boy, Terra Fairy Garganackle, and I also had my Terra Steel Thunderous. I don't fully remember why. I think it was just to really fuck up Florges, as that was the main defensive option. He didn't bring a Terra. I don't remember what they are, but none of these guys are Terra, so, you know. Now, I actually fucked up damage calcs really early, and I thought this Cinderace was banded. It was not. His Florges was designed to fuck up Salty.
Yeah, covert cloak.
Yep. But on the flip side, the Dio here is really good at just giving me free turns. So simply Trick Room, eat the U-turn because he's weak, and teleport out. Oh yeah, I was also watching this one.
Pause the game.
Yes.
One thing I want to say about that sequence of turns in particular is so you took 2 turns, one to set up Trick Room, one to set up Teleport to get initiative.
Yep.
And then you went into Bear on the Skarmory.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, this is like 3 turns to set up a play that doesn't even win the game, as we see. So I was a little confused about this when I was watching. Was your plan to eliminate Skarmory and then try to win with Rillaboom? Is that kind of what you're thinking at the team building stage?
That was a big part of it, yeah. So as seen here, it does have Flame Orb, which pretty easily 2-Kos it, as you can see. Actually, it's not a 2-Ko.
Yeah.
Well, it's a roll to be a 2-Ko, but with rocks up, it is guaranteed. Anywho, yeah, so once Skarmory goes down, it just becomes so much easier for one Rillaboom. I think this was a banded Rillaboom set. I can't fully remember, but I remember wanting Grassy Glide to be able to fuck up Deoxys' speed. But between Thundurus, Rillaboom, and Valiant, and none... Well, Thundurus could, but these guys couldn't really do much to Skarmory, so I knew if I could get Ursaluna or Thundurus to get rid of Skarmory, that Rillaboom would go in really hard. Grassy Glide can kill Keldeo, can kill Swampert, if not Rindo, but even if it is Rindo, I can still 2-Ko it and Ice Beam won't kill me. Again, Grassy Glide really fucks up Dio's speed. Florges was actually one of the bigger problems I found. I'd have to get, like, Wood Hammer plus Moonblast, like, Recoil plus Moonblast really hurt. But just generally, I knew Ursaluna would just fucking hurt this team in general, you know what I mean? Like, it cracks open Skarmory, and then I basically would pick up a free KO. If not, I would get, like, I would entirely cripple another Pokemon, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I can see that. I'm just...
Yeah, being at like would have been like turn 7 or 8, and being up 2 Pokemon is just generally a really good way to start a game, I feel. This body press fucking hurts, and then this is where I fucked shit up. Being in front of, the 10 people in my room watching me play a game, I misclicked Cause I'm an idiot. I wanted to go for another Fire Punch and kill this stupid Skarmory. Instead, I bulked up. And at this point, I'm praying to God that I live this fucking body press because the +1. I don't, but... Well, I mean, I do, but then Burn kills me anyway. But, like, at this point, look at me. It's like, yeah, the bear's annoying, I know. Remember the Season 7 Grand Final? I beat him with Ursaluna. That's why it's the PTSD creator. And then I clicked the wrong move. No, fuck. I was too busy shit-talking. You're meant to be dead. Just fucking nonsense. Deserved. Fuck you. I'm gonna kill myself. Unfortunate. Damn right. I was so mad. This really, it was that moment that I really was like, okay, I need to, like, lock the fuck in and like, do my best absolutely. Because that really fucked with my entire plan of existence. I can't lie. I can't believe I fucking did that. I'm still so mad at myself. I fucking misclicked, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon. It takes a little time to get used to the nerves and but yeah. Anyway, this is still a great game. Let's see what happens after the misclick.
Yeah. So I had a feeling they'd go to Swampert, but I figured I may as well risk it and go to Skarmory. But I had Grass Knot anyway. And I knew I lived in Ice Beam, so it wasn't really something to be scared about. He then sent in Cinderace. I think I just sacked Dio here. Yeah. Go into the Salty Man himself. It was only at this point here that I realized it's not banded. I calced wrong and didn't realize the default set in the damage calculator isn't Libero, it's Blaze for some reason. So when I was trying to figure out damage, I didn't take into account that the type change gave it the, banded boosts. So that was weird to find out.
I think all of us are going to be glad for next gen and the calculator goes back to useful. We've all had bad experiences with the calculator this season.
Yeah, well, not even this season. Ziggy last season threw a game against Sean because he didn't realize Palfin's thing was set to the baby mode, not the big boy mode, and that literally cost him the game. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, that was sad.
Fun time.
Yeah, so we get out of there with Florges because I predicted the Protect after the Wish. He actually just Moonblasted and very much hurt my ass. We knock off, get hurt, and then I think I just U-turn out. No, I Grassy Glide. Fair enough. In comes the Cinder. I swap to Salty, predicting U-turn, but it's just kind of my best way to deal with it in general. Now, Deoxys speed here is mildly scary. I think I go for Salt Cure. Nasty Plot very much scared the fuck out of me. I had to think about what the fuck was I gonna do about this. He Psychic Noises me, which frustrates me, because for one, it fucking crits, and for two, I thought I went for Recover. But yeah, this crit, I didn't really realize this until, like, later analysis of this game. This crit may have just cost me this game right here as well, by the way. Yeah, so I go into the Dominatrix as a sack so that I could get Harambe in safely. And like I said, do the Grassy Glide to fuck it up. For some reason, he then goes to Cinderace and U-turns, and I think he just assumed that it would kill me, but I was actually a somewhat bulky guy, and then he just sacks his Keldeo. Not this turn, sorry. Next turn when I Grassy Glide his ass. Yeah, bonk. Yeah, I think he just assumed that Cinderace would kill it with U-turn. Here, yeah, I had to
make a good read.
Yeah, I had to just hard predict the U-turn into Florges and get chip on it. Without the chip, there was just kind of nothing that could be done about it. Thankfully, I timed the grassy terrain turns perfectly, which was really nice. It allowed me to get one more strong wood hammer to bring that thing down. I even live this and get a Grassy Glide off on Cinderace here. And then, yeah, U-turn fucks me up. Now, U-turn here kind of was almost a throw. Locking himself into being weak to Salt Cure is not a good call, I feel. And here, now, Lance, what would you do here?
Truthfully, the answer is kind of, I would try to predict based on how the rest of the game was going, what my opponent would do. So if my opponent was playing great, if they were making reads, I would predict Cinderace to go for Gunk Shot here. What 4 moves were you running on this?
Salt Cure,
Did you have
Stealth Rock,
Protect?
Recover. No, I didn't. The last move I think was Body Press. Or Curse, one of the two. I can't remember.
Okay, so if you had Protect, I would have gone for that first, and then that gives you 2 turns to predict what Josh is going to do,
Yeah.
and to scout for if he has coverage for you. So, it's hard to say because I wasn't playing this game, but Josh does seem to have been clicking the right move the entire game. And so, yeah, you had a 50-50 chance this play. You could have just stayed normal and Salt Cured. The play you made wasn't wrong, but you just had to make a read and you got the read wrong, and it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it was the 50-50. Do I not Terra and he high jump kicks and kills me? Or do I Terra and he gunk shots and kills me? I went for the Terra and gunk shot kills me. Was an insanely tilting game, as I'm sure you can imagine, between the misclick and this is where I said in later analysis that crit, where was that? This one right here, right? 73%, so a non-crit would have done like 48 or something, right? So imagine instead of being on 27% health, I'm at like 53. Fun fact, there's a roll that I live that. I could have lived a gunk shot. Not guaranteed, of course. But there was a roll. There was several rolls that I lived that gunk shot if I hadn't gotten crit. And look, at the end of the day, it was my mistake for misclicking, and the misclick that I did really cost me the game. I think I fucked up. That's my own bad. It's just really frustrating. But even that crit also kind of could have cost me the game. Look, if the rolls were like in his favor, it wouldn't have mattered. But the fact of the matter is it came down to a misclick and a crit that really cost this game, and the 50-50. Like, it's so frustrating. Of course, as you said, if I had Protect, I would have clicked that. That could have given me an extra turn to scout. But yeah, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I can understand how you feel that way.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is, one of the ways to get better after a win or after a loss is to figure out like multiple things that you did wrong. Even if you can pinpoint the game to one turn where it went wrong, obviously you can learn from that. But if you can, like, let's just say Josh brought a better team than he brought, or he played better than he did, and you lost this game 4-0 or something, like, were there moments during prep or during play where you could have gotten an advantage? That way, if you got bad luck later in the game, you still would have had that advantage to build off of.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to do. It's like, as a human nature is, you want to blame one thing and you go back and change that one thing, but the growth mindset is usually identify multiple things that you could have done better at different stages, and then just realize one thing was responsible, but it wasn't the only thing.
Yeah. Something else is on. I kind of got two notes on what you just said. One was that Ziggy said that I should have sacked the Thunderous over the Valiant, which maybe was true. I don't think we kind of agreed by the end of it that it didn't make a big deal. Like at the end of the game, at the end of the day, that 50-50 would have still been the scenario, and it wouldn't have made any difference. But just in general, he thought it was better, and maybe it was. I don't remember the specifics, but you know. And the other thing, about what you said brings me back to the semifinals of B Division this season with Derek versus Aiden. Now when I first watched their game, I was very mad at the end of it because like Derek got like paralyzed like 3 or 4 times like in very terrible situations, which ended up costing him the game. But it was one of those things when I actually sat down, did the video, and analyzed it properly, I realized there was like, yes, those paralyzes did cost him the game, but they're all also better things he could have done that would not have given the chance of those powers ruining the game. Like if he went to one of his other Pokemon instead of his paralyzed Pokemon, he could have still done fine. I mean, yeah. That's that, yeah.
Yeah, I do like what you say. Sometimes when you're watching someone else's game, then it's a lot easier to identify those mistakes. When you're watching your own, sometimes you can have a blind eye. I'm not saying you have a blind eye for this game, but one final comment I have about this is the final turn 28 for this game?
Yeah.
Let's round that up to 30. So, the 3 turns that I pointed out earlier, where you went for Trick Room, Teleport, and then an attack with the bear.
Yep.
3 turns out of 30, that's 10% of the game. So just from like, in my mind's eye, preparation standpoint, that 10% of the game was like, it was less than ideal. Those were 3 turns. Maybe you could have come up with a better game plan at the planning stages, so that way you can utilize every turn to its fullest.
I do see your point.
I think you played...
But also, if those 3 turns result in 2 Pokemon dead, or 1 dead and 1 done like 90% of its health to, would you not say that that's worth it?
It's an excellent question. Yeah. How many resources should you expend to beat a threat? And there's not always an easy answer for that. Sometimes you dedicate 3 Pokemon, so 300% of your resources are dedicated towards countering 1 Pokemon. Just looking at your team, I think there might have been better ways to break Skarmory. But yeah, overall, you only lost 1-0. You played great. You found a way to bring it back to almost winning. You did a lot of things right. So I'm just saying, if you do want some honest feedback, I'd probably say 3 turns to get 1 knockout if you didn't misclick was a lot of resources. You took almost full damage on Bear. You took almost full damage on Deoxys. You sacrificed 200% health and 3 full turns to get 100% damage on the Skarmory, and that's just a lot in my opinion.
It would have also done like, depending on the Swampert set, like if it was max bulk, it would have done like 90% or something like that. But anything else got one shot, including a non-bulky Swampert, all got one shot as well. So 2 turns to kill Skarmory, 1 turn to kill anything else, or if it's bulky Swampert, it would have done 90%, right? So it's like it would have done like minimum, it would have done like 190% to the enemy's like 600 total.
Yeah, if he didn't have Protect on something that outstalled Trick Room, and that was probably an oversight on his part, he should have prepared more for Trick Room. But
fair.
I'm just yeah, just some final thoughts on this. Personally, I think Fast Bear would have been even better this matchup. But
it was
yeah,
something
overall,
I considered. I just kind of didn't like it because Dio's speed and Cinderace outsped anyway. It's like a Fast Bear, even with like Trailblaze, right? So +1 max speed Bear still gets outsped by Deoxys, Cinderace, and Keldeo. Yeah, and Keldeo. Which, like, and all 3 of those things could OHKO me, right? Keldeo has water moves. Okay, Cinderace would probably have to get lucky and hit a high jump kick, but it would probably still do a lot of damage, especially if it was a Flame Orb set. And Deoxys would just Ice Beam and probably obliterate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all valid points for sure. But the question is, like, if Trick Room expired, all those same things still would have been true. So, what I probably would have seen is you bring in Bear on Florges if you're Fast Bear. You go for Fire Punch, expecting Skarmory. You outspeed, you Fire Punch again. Obviously, you would have needed Chip. And then at that point, you bring in Bear later against Florges again, and you secure a guaranteed knockout. So you have those options without the Trick Room and Teleport support. But yeah, it's a lot easier to spectate and say these things than, yeah, I don't have your team, I haven't practiced with it. Yeah, what I'm saying is just secondhand experience. So
I feel like I would have needed like an AV Luna to make that work, because it's not very specially bulky, and Florges is like 110 at special attack.
Yeah, I haven't run the calcs too, so that could be a viable point for sure. But if I'm him, Florges is the way to beat Garganacl. Florges has a good matchup in like 2 other Mons on your team. I probably would have kept Florges. Bear was coming in on it.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, I think we should move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
So next up, we have Zeus, also known as Manchespin City, going up against Warpig, also known as Royal Bewear Force. So Terras are, I believe, Gengar and Blaziken and Jolteon. Yeah, I feel like if this Cleavor is like Scarfed, I kind of feel like it just fucks shit up.
Yeah, I'm with you there. One point I want to say about this lead matchup, so we can't see who Warpig led with, but we're going to see pretty soon this is Exkirum, which on paper absolutely annihilates Warpig. I do think this was incorrect for Zeus to lead. So a lot of times when I consider lead matchups versus my opponent, one, I never lead with a win condition. Like if Exkirum breaks, I wouldn't lead with it. But
Yeah, that's
two,
fair.
I look at the three most popular Pokemon, that the two or three most common leads that my opponent could lead with. And I try to come up with a set that can beat any one of those two or three leads. So Kyurem obviously beats King Lu lead. Kyurem also beats Jolteon lead, who Warpig does love to lead with both those Pokemon. But Cleavor was his third lead, and so I think this was just a bad lead matchup by Zeus. But we'll see how the game goes.
Yeah, I definitely see your point. I would also point out, not so much as to oppose that, but just kind of in general, this is still only the third week. You haven't really, it hasn't been quite what I'd say long enough to pick up on all those kinds of things. You know what I mean? But I do very much see your point.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Stoneaxe fucking misses. Ice Beam fucking kills.
Not, I thought Zeus was winning after that turn one.
I'll say that's a fucked turn one. I can't even lie. I kind of feel bad for Warpig if he wasn't doing so well in the season.
Yeah.
Taunting Tingu is a great call. Fuck your spikes. Get out of there with U-turn. Heavy Slam. That's pretty cool tech, I think. I've never seen a Heavy Slam Tinglu. Freeze Dry. Oh. This is one of those times where you can tell this was he 100% calced his Alomomola to live that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Also, I do like to switch into Blaziken there, but I think Blaziken also worked as a double, because if you're Kyurem, you see Freeze Dry as a roll, Aloe's going to flip turn. Then yeah, I like that play going Blaziken there on multiple reasons. That's a great play.
Yeah, I agree.
And Blaziken, one of the Pokemon you cannot switch against once it's in. If you switch, then
yeah, it's
a narrow loss could turn into a huge loss.
I mean, my question here is, why did he even Flare Blitz and hurt himself? CC did 56%. He was only at 44. He had you know what I mean? Why? I mean, I know your defenses are already low, but they're already so low that having it one stage lower isn't going to make a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the reason would have been if he went Gengar, then you get guaranteed damage on it.
Yeah,
but
that makes
even
sense.
then, Gengar is frail.
Yeah, even then, all you do is outspeed it and Flare Blitz it the next turn, right?
Yeah.
Oh well, it doesn't really make a big difference. Just something that I would like to point out, I feel.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yep, Mola just fucking eats that shit alive. Goes to Motom, flip turns it back out. Goes to Pekka. Gen 9 Gengar, lol. They're extraordinarily different Pokemon.
Yeah. Every single season, I find new Pokemon on my opponent's teams I hate prepping for. And having fought Warpig, really hate prepping for Pecharunt.
Yeah, Pecharunt's a fucking bitch. Fucking Malignant Chain is just a stupidly good move, especially with Poison Puppeteer.
Yeah, physical defense is just as good as Iron Hand, so this thing can take hits on the physical side.
Yeah, even the special side, 88 and 88 is usable still. If you want to go special defensive, you can. I will say that parting shot could have fucking fucked shit up if it wasn't for Jolteon being here.
Yeah. Folion could have gotten a few knockouts for sure, especially if it was a bait set in Folion with
Yeah, well, here we
Sub
are again doing the
Feralo.
same thing. If only this Empoleon was like Terra Ground. Oh, he chose to stay in this time. Say, how much does this even do? Sweet fuck all, baby. Flip turns out. He lives another Volt Switch. He doesn't take the chances. Ting Poo's back. Freeze Dry does good fucking damage. This has got to be a spec set, right?
Yeah, it's definitely spec.
Yeah, KFC's come in. Hold up. How much did that do last time?
I think it was half.
42%.
But, well, was it Terra Fighting that time, or was it? I think that was non-Terra Fighting.
Yeah, it
I
was
think the next
non-Terra.
one would have gotten Donphan.
So hang on.
Okay.
So that means it lost its resist, which means it would have done even more, correct?
Yeah, it would have done 1.5 times the damage the first one did.
Yeah, which means it would have killed. Why did he switch that out then? I guess he was scared of the protect play, and then he would have had to swap anyway. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I think Donphan, he wanted a backup option for Jolteon, so he said Donphan is good here, and he probably just didn't calc how much close combat was doing to Torn, is my guess. Maybe he's just act Gengar the first time versus Blaziken. Who knows? The game still would have been an uphill battle.
The Chople Empoleon does not save him. I think that's it. Black Belt. If that's Black Belt, that's crazy. Terra fighting Black Belt Blaziken. If only he EQ'd.
Yep. Morpig definitely calcs. Can tell you that much having played him.
Yeah,
calcs
for sure.
in prep and calcs during the battle.
Wait, why the fuck is this Earth Power? What are you doing? Actually, I guess right for this, yeah. Sorry for I like completely slipped my mind that bro has like less than half the fucking speed def as it does fizz def. That's actually kind of cool. Now that I use my brain for more than a millisecond, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, Dugtrio is another Pokemon you can run special Terra Ground on, and it gets all kinds of knockouts even with the pitiful special attack stat.
Fuck yeah. Nice, nice disabled as it switches out. Damn, he's getting all these protect switches correct. He even gets the. So wait, is that how the doubles work? If it fails, it still no. I think that counts anyway. But I think I agree. I think this game's about over.
Yep, Blaziken at it again. Just
yeah,
amazing Pokemon.
Yeah, Blaziken doing Blaziken things, you know. Yeah, GG.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Warpig's an absolute menace. And remember, this is with him missing Stone Axe and getting one-shot turn 1, right?
Yeah, almost got a 5-0 even after. Yeah, great player. Glad to have him in this league.
Yeah, he definitely adds some extra competition that we haven't seen in a good long while. All right.
Yep, but this is a hot take. I do not think he is going to win this league. I think all good players have enough information to give him a run for his money in the playoffs.
I can see that. I would love to discuss this more with you, but considering that this is the week 3 video, I say we save that for after the video.
Yeah.
I try to
Sounds
usually
good.
not spoil like future weekly videos. Not that it really matters, but I try. Okay, next
Okay.
up, we have Sugar Gray, also known as Nanjing Nidokings, going up against Bruins Girl 33, also known as Steela, or Boston Celesteelas, or Sensible Celesteelas. I think in the server it's Sensible, and in the doc it's Boston. I know her logo is Boston. Anyway, that's entirely irrelevant. Yeah, Gray's team is absolutely fucking terrifying. We got Terra Enamorous and Terra Registeel against Terra Ogapon. Yeah, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Surprised Ursaluna didn't make an appearance here.
Yeah.
One of the great things is when you have such a threatening ground type, your opponent's expecting to come. It really makes the sets that they can bring on a Pokemon like Regieleki very limited.
Yeah, no,
Because
that's fair.
you can't run Scarf or Spec because you don't want to be locked in a bad situation. So,
Yep, very true.
no Ursaluna. I think Hila could have won if he actually did bring Spec Regieleki, but did not bring it, and probably for good reason.
I would also like to point out that so on Steela's team, she has a Histilian Zoroark, also known as the best Annihilate counter I can think of. And why she chose not to bring that is a mystery to me, to be frank.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
All right, let's get this shit going. We've got it's Terra Stella and Terra Flying. Alright, and then he starts off with the Electron and Masquerada. This the classic crit turn 1 Volt Switch and probably a U-turn. Nope, Spikes. I guess... Did he expect to be faster? Is he like a Scarf set? No, because we just saw him Spike U-turn. I don't know, maybe he just wanted Spikes up. Oh well. Knocking off Blastoise's Rocky Helmet on turn 2 is pretty nice. U-turns out of there into the Water Absorb Ogapon. Gets roared out into the Monkey. I'm pretty sure this Infernape is banded. I think. Don't quote me on that. Rapid Spin. Spikes, so you get the ground immunity. No more Volt switching for you. Knocks off to really fuck shit up. Explosion! I fucking love Explosion, dude.
I don't think that was a good trade for Steela, though. I think Lecky had a lot more to give this game if could have just dealt with the Meowscarada. But good trade for Gray, and the game goes on.
Getting all sorts of hazards up. Thunder Wave, Leech Seed, Eid, Stealth Rocks. All the shenanigans. CC's his ass. He fucking lives, though. That's crazy. And Thunder Waves.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's banned. I think banned would have gotten the knockout.
Yeah, no, maybe you're right. Apes tries to set up.
You do not want to switch in Teazor on this Pokemon, so that was a misplay.
Yeah, absolutely. Also worth noting, this Kasib Berry is the Ghost Berry, as he was very much predicting the Hisuian Zoroark's Ghost Stab. Yeah, she figures out it's a bad play to leave that in and then dies to a single Rage Fist. What's going on in the chat?
Annihilate, one of the other Pokemon I hate prepping for.
Yeah, Ape is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this. So I love my roster, but hate it at the same time. You have a very good team, not in this situation. She absolutely had the matchup into this team. I remember me, Gray, and Ziggy talking about it before the game when looking over his prep, and like she definitely had the advantage here, especially with the Ogapon and Infernape. We thought. Ziggy here. This was a bit of a dick, but she does have a tendency to always make random excuses. But like, shut up, Ziggy. Yeah, I don't know why she again goes back out to this fucking sizzle though. Now it's dead. Fucking Rick. And now he's dead. And
Yeah, I think if Stila had given Slowking the Ghost Resist berry and gone hard into that on Fernape, like I think offensive Slowking with that berry would have gotten a kill versus team once Meowscarada went down.
yeah, no, I agree with that. But yeah, I don't
But
know what she was doing with this. Well, I don't know what her plan was against Annihilate.
yeah, I'm with you there.
But I mean, I guess just to be blunt, she clearly just didn't have one. I think her only idea was Comfy Draining Kiss, but then she hard swapped into it and got it killed. Yeah, this was not a good game from her.
Do you want to say, Stila, you drafted good? In the case that you had a great team matchup into Gray. Mez said later you had a great team matchup into him. I played this team and I didn't have an easy matchup, so I think your instincts are definitely getting there when it comes to drafting. I think a little more work on the prep and battling. I think you can come back to A and do really well next time.
We'll definitely have to wait and see. Yeah. But she definitely has improved. There was a long while where I thought she had just plateaued and would never get any better, but she definitely has gotten better recently. Um, but yeah, from what we've seen, definitely not quite yet ready for A, unfortunately. All right, moving on, we have Darkly, also known as Ziggy or Ziggy. Sorry, I just said Ziggy or Ziggy. Ziggy or Bailey or what's his team? Sydney Swanner, that's it. Fucking Jesus. Going up against the GOAT himself, Akshi, also known as Atletico Bewears. Now, this was another game played in my room with a watch party. Except this was done after my birthday party, not before it like the other ones were. So, yeah. Let's see. Terras are and leads. Terras are Ghost, Raging Bolt, and Terra Fairy on the Mesprit and Zarude. He really liked Fairy this game, huh? Alright. Also, wait a minute. Shouldn't spikes have failed, or is that only for things that actually attack the dark type?
Yeah, it's only for status and other stuff.
Right.
It's
Okay.
a little interesting. Yeah, I've tested it too because I'm like, can Dark stop spikes? Because if so, I want to use that to stop Klefki. But yeah, it's just for like Thunderwave, Toxic.
Yeah, fair enough then. But yeah, he's starting with spikes and getting knocked off. Knocking off Sugarberry is very interesting, I feel.
Yeah, apparently Klefki was one of the tools to deal with Garchomp.
Yeah. Wheezing, I think Ziggy did really well with that Wheezing switch, keep perfectly predicting it. Yeah. Going for the Willow, it was also really good. Will-O-Wisp is just kind of really good into Ash's team in general. Got his own rocks up.
Yeah, for sure.
Getting another layer of spikes up. SDs is pretty fucking scary. Yeah, Ironhead just annihilates that.
I'm a little surprised he didn't just make Mew as the dedicated switch into Garchomp, because you switch in, you take the hit, you Ice Beam, but we'll see. He has other plans for Mew this game, but to me that was very surprising.
Yeah, I don't remember what the Mew set is this week. Terra Fairy, I remember some being kind of odd. It's like, it's okay with like Raging Bolt being Dragon, and Darkrai and Quack, but it's also, I mean, the Raging Bolt was always gonna go out of it. Yeah, I don't know. I
I
remember Gray
think
not liking it.
one of
I remember Gray not liking it.
I
I
think
can see both sides. I don't have any major feelings on it though. I just thought I'd bring it up.
yeah, I think one of the reasons actually might have done that is Trapagos is a great breaker into Ziggy's team. And so it's obviously normal type, and Ziggy does have Quackable, who is going to be around late game. So just going into a type that could sponge the fighting type attack might have been a big reason he did it. But yeah, as we're going to see later, he had another big reason why it turned out so good.
Fucking ate the T-Volt. We love to see it. Zarude's back out to eat the Dragon Pulse perfectly. I'm also realizing, first off, Encore here was brilliant, but also, does Terra... Why would you Terra... I mean, I guess the Terra Ghost was there for Terrapagos, but I feel like making yourself more Zarude weak was a really bad decision. Being able to
Yeah, that
eat
was
Terrapagos is nice, though, I will say. I guess trade-offs.
yeah. One of the things in my notes too was and obviously it takes a while to get good with the team that you drafted. This is only week 3, but I think Raging Bolt is 100% an endgame Pokemon. So I do feel like Ziggy brought it out a little early this game.
It's something he actually kind of does in a lot of his games, as we'll find out more in later videos. He tends to bring it out as like a mid-game-ish Pokemon. He basically always wastes his booster energy. Yeah, gets out of there immediately. Klefki's now... Oh, it's still alive for right this second. Gets a Dazzle off. Gets a last layer of spikes before going down. Sends back in the Bolt. Gets paralyzed. Gotcha.
Yeah, he also probably could have swapped in Darkrai there because it outsped Thundurus.
So I'm kind of surprised that it lived the EQ, but I mean it left it crippled it too, so I guess it doesn't make a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
Super Fang I also kind of liked. Encore again. Into the Darkrai. Knocks that off. Expert build.
You want to say one thing? Ziggy is using Mew amazing this season. I drafted it for one league, and I ended up dropping it after like 3 or 4 weeks because I just could not use Mew well. Prepping for Mew, I hate prepping because it can do anything and you just never know. I think Ziggy has figured out the secret sauce for Mew this season, though. If you just use it as a spike defensive wall, you can use it offensive, but yeah, setup Mew just doesn't have the power to clean in my experience, and yeah, I am extremely impressed with how he's used Mew this entire season.
Yeah, he's always been a big fan of Mew. Even though it's not as quite as good this gen as it has been in the past, taking away some of its moves like Roost has been unfortunate for it, but also just Power Creep has also, you know, slowly been pushing it down, but it's still a really solid Pokemon, in my opinion. Of course, it can run basically any set you wanted to, defensively, offensively, support. It can kind of do it all, really.
Yeah, with you there.
Yeah, getting your expert belt knocked off and this thing having synthesis really fucks you up. Yeah, you're dead now. Psychic Noise is really good there, preventing the synthesis. I'm pretty sure Zarude would have just won the game on the spot right there if it wasn't for Psychic Noise.
Yeah, with you
Trapagos
there.
comes in, Rock polishes up. Meteor beams and kill. Oh, that is fuck all in mind. Fuck killing. That doesn't do shit. And then he encores. And more Psychic Noise. And that now kills. This is turning into a very close game. Thankfully, he can kill. I feel like Aqua Stepping would have been a much better play from Ziggy here.
Yeah.
But CC, he lives that. Then he wave crashes, kills Sneasler, and dies himself. So, for the first time in my video's histories, and like I think the second or third time in RCL history, we have a null game.
Yep, always a classic.
Yep, always insane when that happens.
I do think the Quackable might have been banned if I remember the post-game conversations. So that if Aqua Step didn't kill Sneasler, I could see why he locked in the Wave Crash.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, if it was banded, I definitely see why he wouldn't have just Aqua Stepped. He would have probably just lost the Sneasler then. I definitely would like. I definitely think Terapagos not having Rapid Spin was a massive mistake, just in general. These spikes really fucked him up across the course of the game. I mean, if I was to make a guesstimate, I would say those spikes ended up doing like probably 100% across the team, maybe a bit more, maybe less, something like that though. They ended up doing quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think after this battle, then actually did some transactions, or maybe the next one, but I think he realized that hazard stacking is one of the weaknesses of his team.
Yeah,
So,
that and Will-O-Wisp are the two biggest weaknesses of actually his current team.
yeah, with you there.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a very good game from both of them. This was awesome to watch live. I mean, the turns took a while for some of it, but how often do you get to see such a good, close, null game, you know?
Yeah, with you there.
Yeah.
Two great competitors. Best of luck to both of them. I'm not going to spoil what I was going to spoil, but let's go to the next game.
Yeah, good call. So this is actually our final game of the day. We have our boy Slippy Slurpy, also known as Sean, also known as Galactic Greninja, going up against... Alright, Lance, it's your turn. How would you pronounce this name?
Biggest McGaius?
Biggest McGaius, yeah.
My best guess?
I say I've asked everyone and no one so far has said the same thing, and I'm scared because I have no idea. But yes, the big guy, big guy, also known as Albie or Big Arms Boy, I think is his team name. I'm still trying to figure out everyone's new names for all the new players. But yeah, this guy's. So this is Urshifu Dark, unlike the other one, which was Urshifu Water. I think Urshifu Dark is really going to struggle with Tinkaton's existence in general. Actually, looking at it, I think the entire team is going to struggle with Tinkaton's existence except for Dugtrio. Like, if he can get rid of Dugtrio, I feel
Yeah.
like Tink just kind of fucks this team, like, defensive. Like, it just walls everything, right?
Yeah. I remember during the draft, well, Steel Fairy is the best defensive typing in the game. There are a few that come close, though. I
Yeah.
remember in the draft, I'm like, please, someone draft Tinkaton. I don't want Teamsters to get Tinkaton. I almost drafted Tinkaton because I knew how good it was, but
Yeah.
Tinkaton kept falling and Teamsters grabbed it, and I'm like, come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Though this is definitely the most offensive Sean has ever done so far. I mean, look at this shit. Roaring Moon, Walking Wake, Torkoal, and Slitherwing. Hell, even Terra Espathra. Like, this is Sean. I'm so happy to see Sean stop stalling. It brings a smile to my face. Except he still rails everyone, but you know.
Yeah, first season I played against Sean in this league or similar league or whatever. He did draft offense. He still got the number 1 seed. I think I don't exactly remember how playoffs went, but I don't think he won with offense. Ever since then, he's been playing defense, but yeah, agreed. Did make me happy. He didn't go full stall mode, but
To be honest, I kind of wish he did go full stall this season because for the first time ever, there were 2 other players who were also going stall. So if all 3 of them went stall, it would have made all 3 of their teams worse. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I could.
This is the
Yeah, the
only time I
Pokemon you
wanted
want
him
get taken by.
Yeah, this is the only time I wanted him to play stall, and he didn't. God damn it, Sean.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to learn and get better at the game. So,
Yep.
kudos to Sean. I think he lost his son in a different league, so he's trying it out, figure out what it's good against and what it struggles. So next
Yeah.
time he gets the Sun matchup in a playoff, he'll know how to beat it.
Yeah. Alright, so for Terras, there is the Urshifu Dark, which is into Terra Fighting, and Walking Wake, which is Ground, and then Espathra, which is Fairy. I definitely think this Espathra can fuck shit up, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's a great point. Spathra is hard. Well, everyone has blind eyes to some play styles in Pokemon, so
Yeah, that's fair.
I was counting the teams before we started recording. Uh, one of the things that I determine makes a strong draft is how well do you do in a setup. I used to play on Battle Spot. It's a 3v3 format, and one of the cores was Greens plus Volcarona plus Mega Salamence. So that archetype, they had Quiver Dance pressure and they had Dragon Dance pressure. So when you were planning how does your team deal with that archetype, you had to know how that worked and how to beat it. So when I was counting the teams in our current league that can beat that archetype, Quiver Dance, Dragon Dance, less than half the teams actually could. So when I was looking at this matchup, they don't have anything for Spathra, which Speed Boost, Calm Mind is the exact same stat boost as Quiver Dance. Yeah, it was obvious Sean had the team matchup here, and biggest Magias probably just hasn't had enough battles to know that archetype is a threat, and you need to prep for it in drafting.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so he got the knockoff on the Slow King. He went to Torkoal. Got Sun up for his Moon. Well, no more Sun, no more. Urshifu is here to
The
really.
Weather War battle.
Yeah, we always love Weather Wars. Goes to the Slitherwing. That actually does a bit more than I expected it to.
Yeah, I guess it's not fully physically defensive Slitherwing.
No,
Because
yeah,
I think if it was, it would have taken that amazingly.
I definitely expected it to be a bulky Slitherwing, but maybe not. Oh, he doesn't chilly reception this time. Okay, well, free knockoff into the Urshifu's Choice Scarf. That's very nice. U-turns out. Gets
Yep,
Torkoal
both
back in.
players kind of feeling out each other early in this game,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's gonna allow them to go aggressive later in the game.
Yeah. Except I feel like Sean's aggressiveness is a lot stronger than Albie's. Although
Yeah.
I do feel like outraging when there's this fairy type right here was probably not the greatest of calls.
Uh, if you want to pause the video for a second,
Yeah.
earlier in the game, he did go for U-turn, so he was scouting for how he would respond when this Pokemon hit the field. His initial response was not Pheasantipity, and so I think that kind of opened the door for Sean. So he said, if your initial response to this is not Pheasantipity,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
make
to
it.
break. And yeah, if you do go Pheasantipity, I can switch out because you're immune, and I do have switch-ins to this. So
Yeah, no,
I
that's
think,
fair.
yeah, I think they had a good idea for how the other one wanted to play up to this point, and so that gave Sean the confidence. I can start breaking now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We did get to see is what yeah, we did get to see how much each thing just kind of loves to pivot and yeah, fair play. I didn't realize that this was Terra Ground. Uh, yeah, that Shuka did not save him.
Yeah, based
Tinkaton going down
on
here was very unfortunate though.
yeah, based on our conversations when the battle started, I think that Shell Tinkaton would have been better this matchup than
Yeah, I actually
Chuckaberry.
thought it was Shed Shell. I did not know it was Shuka. I don't I don't remember this game very well. In fact, I don't even know if I watched this game before. I do watch most games, but I there are some that I know slip through my vision. Um,
And there's some where they hide the room and you can't watch even though you want to.
yeah, fucking bastards. I will also say, when the fuck is Walking Wake gonna get an animated sprite, my dude? Still rocking
I
this
don't know.
PNG looking ass.
Yeah, gotta make some friends on Showdown who work with that and get them on it.
Alright, getting sub Espathra is pretty nice. Going Dog Trio, is that a good call? I don't think it is.
I think it was his only play because like
Well, the
he
thing
doesn't have
is,
things without speed. This.
yeah, well, that's gone now. Absolutely predicted. Get fucked. Yeah, Terra Fairies now because he knows. Oh, even subs. Fair enough. Trick. Damn, yeah. That was well done subbing there. I think. I. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like this might be over now.
Yeah, you would be right.
Because there's no way he can break through this Espathra's, like, Spadef. Like, he could go for Scald, but it's not gonna break through the sub, right? Yeah.
Yeah, at this point it's
P-
desperation mode. He's hoping
yeah.
Bathra will be in Sucker Punch KO range.
Yeah, you kind of just gotta get lucky and pray. Pray for the crit when you need it. Yep, now it's full special, full speed, and it can just sub one more time and then just Lumina crash the world. Or D-Gleam, sure. Yeah, works.
I will say, on Showdown, if they didn't ban all of these uh broken Pokemon, people would have a lot more opportunity to figure out how to beat these. And so in like draft leagues like this, and
Yeah, that's fair.
but yeah, they ban all the broken stuff, and so people just don't get enough practice. So,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
but
You got to be playing UUBIS or RUBIS to really get a good chance at using like some of these guys.
yeah,
But yeah, well done to you,
but
Sean. As always, you know how to destroy someone.
yep, great battles, everyone. Fun reviewing them, and yep, let's go to the standings.
Yeah. Um. Hang on. Yeah. So there was actually only. It's crazy. There was two close games, being my annoyingly close game, Ziggy's is insane 0-0 game. Which, fun fact, I actually had to like manually like most of this stuff is automated, but I actually had to manually write in that it was a win because the system does not recognize null games. Um, but then outside of that, there was quite a lot of washes 5-0, 4-0, 4-0, 5-0, 4-0. Like, there was a lot of washes, and then there was like two really close games, and then there was your game, which is kind of just in the middle. Um, oh yeah, one other thing. So Steeler ended up being replaced later, and because I always just copy the doc and then delete all the new weeks, it says Aiden. This is Steeler, just for referencing people. So yeah, Steeler and Chris, unfortunately, still going 0-3. Surprisingly enough, tying in diff at -10 is pretty interesting to me. And then we have our 1 and 2 losers being two really good players, two mid players, and then a bad player and myself. I'm surprisingly at the top of this shit with my -2. I'm still extraordinarily salty that did not win that game, because if I did, I would have been I would have been 2-1-0 or something, which would have put me only like 2 spots higher. I would have been 8th, which, you know what, is more than I would have ever needed in life to be happy about this season. Moving on to all of our 2-1 guys, which is basically every fucking one. Yeah, Nick and Lance being up the top with 6 differential is absolutely crazy, I feel. Actually, just 1 diff behind. Then Sean and Gray also being just behind. And Ziggy, of course, oops. Then Josh and Beyond being kind of just there, I guess. And then fucking Warpig all the way up the top here. Bloody 3-0, 12 diff for, 4-0 every week, basically. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, great. A lot of respect to anyone who can win consistently with high differential. Like,
Yeah.
I've never been able to do that, albeit I have won half the leagues that I've played in, which obviously I don't play in a ton of leagues, but yeah, still I'm not a great differential player, but anyone who can do that, just hats off to them.
Yeah, it's
Great job,
absolutely
Warpig.
insane. Yeah. Absolutely wild. We'll get into more about Warpig when he comes up in the future. Yeah, and if we go over to the leaderboard, the fucking Blaziken's right up the top as well. Bloody 7 differential by week 3 is absolutely diabolical. I'm sorry.
Yep. A little bit of a broken Pokemon, but I think the bigger case is the meta that we're playing in just doesn't have a lot of great options for Blaziken counters. So
Yeah, that's
people are doing the
very
best
fair.
they can, but yep, he's just way too good in this format.
Indeed. All right. Shall we make our bets on who we think will win in next week's videos?
For entertainment purposes, we can. Yeah, let's do it.
I say. Usually we pretend like we don't know what already happened, or if we forgot, it's even better. But you know, so you know, between Steeler and Mez, regardless of who wins this fight, it's obvious everyone's gonna vote for Mez, right?
Yeah.
Then this one here, right?
Albeit Steela.
Hang on.
Yeah, Steela does have the team matchup in the Mez, but
yeah, but she's also unfortunately nowhere near as good as Mez.
yeah.
This
True.
one here I am very excited for, Battle of the Bears. That's probably what's next week's video is probably going to be titled as well, actually, Battle of the Bears. And
yeah, I think this was the most...
You go on.
I was going to say this was the most hyped game of the season because, yeah, they both had pretty broken teams and they had the same team name.
Yeah.
But actually changing the team name, right?
Yeah, he mentioned that he might rebrand, but I don't think he's decided yet. And even if he does, he might only rebrand for other leagues and stay Bear here. You know what I mean? I know a few people would do that. Like, Steela has a couple other names to use in other servers, but she's always remained Steela here. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, my vote goes to Bewear. Or, actually, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I could see an upset. I think this league's too good that nobody will go undefeated. So, yeah, I'm with you. Atletico, Bewear that matchup.
Yeah. Sean and Josh. Now, this is another one where you just got to go with the GOAT known as Sean, right?
Yep. I think Hope Speaks Deoxys team is too stally, and I think Sean always wins the stall versus stall matchup.
Oh, he absolutely does. He's an expert at stall. He knows how to beat stall with stall. Absolutely wild shit. I do think Big Arm Boys versus Paris Leafeons will actually be a really interesting game. This is actually one of those times where I can't decide who I would think would win this one as well.
I think it's a must-win game for both of them because season's too short. You have to linger right around 500 to keep your playoff hopes alive.
Yeah.
I'll go with the upset. I think Big Arm Boys winning this match would be an upset. So.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna vote for Old Reliable here and go Leafeon.
Yep, I can understand that. Good pick.
Yep. All right, then you and Swanna. I'm sorry, Lance. I gotta go with my homie Ziggle.
Yeah, I can understand that. He's been playing really well. Yeah, also, like, I normally look at my matchups a week up in advance. I've been looking at this matchup, and I don't know how to break his team. So I'm going to go with Sydney Swanna as well.
It's always a sad day when you have to vote against yourself, right?
Yeah, I try never to, but, like, if you look at a matchup a week ahead of time and a week later you still don't know how you're breaking it, yeah, you just have to. You just have to accept you have bad matchups and just you got to let someone else beat these guys. So
yeah,
when you're a good matchup, let someone else beat your bad matchup so you don't have to.
Yeah, I like it. Also worth noting, I almost always vote against myself because I'm always the underdog.
Oh, I gotta change that.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying. All right, Nanjing Nidoking up against Zigzagoon Goon Group. I'm definitely going with my boy Gray over here.
I'm going with the Goon group. I think they have one of the 2 or 3 best drafts in this league. Yeah, just great
I must
player.
admit, Terra Manaphy and Terra Gliscor are a diabolical combination together, and the rest of the team's also pretty
Yeah,
solid.
I think part of the reason I really like his team is it's a similar team to one that I would draft. So like I gravitate towards those teams. Maybe they aren't the best, but
Yeah, no, it's fair.
yeah, if I could see myself drafting it and I understand it, then yeah, I just like it and I'm rooting for it.
Yeah, I can see that. You know what? You're right. It does feel like a U team, honestly. And I mean that in the nicest way possible by the fact that it starts with a like a 13-point Gliscor.
Yeah, people in this league don't like the way I draft. I think a lot of them have come to respect it, but they still rate me really low. But I'm like,
It's one of those things.
knowledge gap.
It's one of those things. While I know you're an incredible like drafter and player, sorry, not drafter. I know you're an incredible prepper and pretty damn good battler too. I never really like your drafts. Your drafts always feel super weird. I can see where some of the really I can see the pieces and how they work together, but they always just feel really odd to me. Like getting a 7-point Gudra round 3 is insane to me. I mean, Primarina I think is fine. I would have probably gotten it in round 3 or 4, but you know, whatever. Terrachi U is a solid first round pick. I think I have no issues with that. But like even last season, your first pick was Iron Hands, which feels insane for a first pick. Like again, no disrespect to the Iron
Yeah.
Hands, it's a good Pokemon, but round 1, you know.
Yeah, Pokemon's an interesting game.
Absolutely.
Iron Hands, in my opinion's top 10 Pokemon, especially in this
Really?
format. People can think what they want. Uh, yeah, Gudra was a little bit of a stretch, but I was trying to. Ziggy guessed it. I drafted PU. I wanted to draft PU counters so that way PU could break every single game. And like, I'd never used Gudra. It has good stats. It had knockoff, which
Yeah.
no other dragon I think gets that. Just great utility move.
Yeah,
Like
no, it's fair.
I gave it a shot. Gudra is not worth a 3rd-round pick, and I'm probably not going to draft again after this season. Just saying that.
Well, that's I guess
But
that's good, but yeah, yeah. As you said, you definitely have your own style of draft that I will admit most of us don't appreciate, but you always make it work, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters, right?
yeah,
All right,
with you
moving.
there.
Yeah. So then Manchespin City versus Helsinki Hydreigon. Now this is actually a really interesting like 2 players. I think Chris and Zeus is actually really hard to decide upon. I feel.
Yeah, I'll go with the Hydreigon because I think his draft is just way too good to not get a win this season.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
gonna go with Chris as well. Not so much because of his draft, although I kind of agree, but just he doesn't ever have it. This is about I think this is literally the easiest game he has all season. Like his like so he let's see he had Leafeon, he had Ziggy, he had you, he has Zeus, he has Gray, he has Akshi, he has Warpig, and then he has Sean. This game and Leafeon's game were by far his easiest games. And just to be clear, Zeus and Leafeon are not bad players. He had like the worst schedule by far, and I feel like he knew if he didn't win this game, he wasn't winning a game this season, right? So I feel like he would clutch up for this victory. So I'm definitely agreeing with voting Chris.
Yeah, great perspective. Let's go, Chris.
Let's go, Chris. All right, and then me versus Nick. I'm giving this one to myself. I know I said earlier that I almost always vote my op, but I give this one to myself.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Truthfully, I'm still learning how you prep, how you battle, how Nose preps and battles. I also know you guys have a rivalry, so
Yeah, a little bit.
I'll go with a 0-0 tie for this matchup.
You think it'll be another tie, do you?
Yeah, I'll go with the tie, and I'll say, like, what Pokemon gets recoil on either team. Whoever has the recoil Pokemon can get the win for this matchup.
I was gonna say that would be him and his Arcanine, remember?
So if Last Fire goes for the head smash final blow.
I mean,
right.
I also do have Rillaboom. I also do have Rillaboom Woodhammer.
Would you bring that versus Gudra, who could run Sap Sipper? Does Gudra get that?
Yeah, it does. It's actually a kind of interesting matchup because there's Great Tusk and Wash Tom, which is really good for Rillaboom, but then there's also Torterra, Toxapex, and Gudra, which are bad for Rillaboom, and then there's Urshifu Rapid, which is good for Rillaboom. It's a very interesting matchup for Rillaboom anyway.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give the edge to Nosepass. I'll say Arcanine goes for head smash and dies to recoil, and it's a tie.
Fair enough. All right. I guess that's it for this episode then, huh?
Yeah. If anybody wants to sponsor this channel, we are welcoming all inquiries. Just let us know. You can reach Viper at his business email, and we'll go from there.
Yes, of course. Yeah, so thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
See ya then.